Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Chicky Tickatelli, and we're going to talk about Alphonse Bruno and give you some raw inside footage from inside the social club, man. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Staxx? How you doing?
Chilling.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Chilling, man. Shout out to Gianni. What's up, man? We got a bunch of people watching right now.
John is a good guy from our area.
What's up? Shout out to everybody watching. Rest in peace to Alphonse Bruno. We're going to tell a couple
Adolfo.
of Adolfo. Well, Alphonse. They call him Alfonso, right? Some people
Adolfo.
did.
Adolfo.
Yeah. So, when's the first time you met Adolfo?
Well, I hung around with his kid, a couple of his kids as teenager. You know, we knew who he was, but you got to understand, he was in and out of jail a lot as we were teenagers, you know. And then, as you know, I went into the military, and when I came out of the military, he was still in jail. And I started hanging around him, and he got out of jail roughly about 1990, 89, 90. I started working for him about 89, 90. And he had just got out, but I was already working for him prior to him, while he was in jail. A dear friend of his, they had just took a series of pinches for bookmaking, and a lot of guys couldn't work no more. They had to go to jail. Some guys just had probation. So probably about 1989, a friend of his, who I don't want to mention his name now, but he got me the job with Bruno, working the office, cleaning out the office, they called it. And what was funny, Staxx, is when they first told me, Chicky, you're going to clean out the office. I'm like, clean up the office. You're going to be the clean out guy. I didn't know what that meant, And I'm like,
sweeping, right?
Yeah, I said, I'm not going to the office sweeping, putting out, you know what I'm saying? But what that meant was a clean out office was you stayed on top of other bookmakers, and you made sure they didn't pass post, and you faxed it where you had to fax it, and you stayed on top of the office so nobody could rob. And like I said, 89, 90, myself and two other kids just opened up. Bruno was a partner with us. We had opened up remember the old days, the clubhouse music? We opened a place in Chicopee, Massachusetts. Was a lake. It was called Lakeside Pasta and Pizza. We opened a restaurant, a bar, and a venue for these clubhouse people like Lizette Melendez, Stevie B. They used to come from New York down to our beachfront restaurant venue and play. And
is it on the river? Was it on the Connecticut River?
It was on a beautiful lake in Chicopee, Massachusetts, and people could swim there. We had a ball. We were lazy at the time. I mean, we could have turned it into $1 million joint, but at that time, me and two of my partners, and Bruno was never there. Bruno was, doing his thing when he got out. But we were partying with girls, and we had strip-joint girls there, and it was more of a party for us than it was a business. If we could do it now, forget about it. We could be millionaires. But at the time, our head wasn't into that.
When Al got out of prison, what was it like? What were people like? Accepting him with open arms?
Oh, of course. I mean, listen, don't let no one fool you. Bruno was loved in Springfield, was loved in New England. He was known as a big money maker. He was loved in prison. He was friends with a lot of, that's him. I think that's I'm almost positive that might be at, what's that place in New Jersey? Fort Dix, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. But it looks it looks like it. But anyways, make a long story short.
Prison walls I seen look like that.
Well, I mean, I've seen a couple pictures of that wall, and the people were at Fort Dix. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, he was a loved guy. He was very loved. Don't let no one fool you. Whatever people are saying, the guy was loved. He came back, and he was in Hartford, Connecticut, a halfway house, and
right in the hood too. They put him right in the hood.
Federal halfway house. People used to have to go down and pick him up every day, and they'd bring him to his restaurant, Carmel, because that's where he was doing his out of halfway house work. You know how you had to work?
Yeah.
So
And
we go down and see
they put
them.
away some money and stuff
Yeah,
for
yeah, and
you.
they pick them up and then they drive them back home back to Hartford halfway house at like 6 o'clock at night. All they did was hang around and bust balls during the day at the restaurant. But we could go see them and I mean I got along good with him. I was at his house every Sunday dinner. His wife Anna, his ex-wife, whatever she is now. She's doing her own thing now, but sweetheart of a woman. And his sons. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun there. Sundays. We used to Tuesday night down the restaurant. Thursday night he had another crew meeting him down there. A lot of fun down the restaurant. And he was if I can compare him, I don't want to compare him like this, but just picture like say a John Gotti Senior of Springfield. You know what I'm trying to say? That kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's Bruno on the right, and on the left is a piece of shit. This guy here came from New York. This guy's name's John Bologna. He pretty much single-handedly was part of destroying Springfield. He came down from New York, and he was a known informant, and he pretty much ruined Springfield by coming down and going back to New York, reporting everything, and just causing a bunch of turmoil.
He was basically recording conversations,
Well,
and
he
he
was
was
doing a
working.
lot of things, and him and another kid used to come. I used to have a restaurant downtown Springfield. It was like a pizza grinder restaurant. Me and my sister had it for a couple of years, and him and another kid who was a big shot in the city used to come down to the restaurant every Saturday. They'd sit in the back, and I'd sit with him and him, not the whole time, but chop it up a little. The guy on the left, and he was coming down every weekend for probably I don't know, close to like a year and a half, 2 years. Every weekend he would show up with 3, 4 guys, and certain people would have to bring him around the city, go to strip joints, go dinner, and he was basically coming down to Springfield to kind of see what everybody was doing and report back to New York.
Gianni says, "Chick, Rubio wanted to come to Springfield and rat up here."
Wait a minute, let me make that right. Rubio did come to Springfield. He came to Chicopee and he met with people I know, which I'm not going to mention their name. They're good friends of mine. But he actually he came. Rubio was, I'm almost 99% sure he did come to Springfield. And it was something about borrowing money. And it was a big thing, but he jammed up a lot of my good friends. So, yeah, Rubio definitely did come down.
I think a lot of times the government informants, they like to bait people,
Of
like
course they do.
they'll borrow a lot of money and then they'll owe a bunch of money and they'll run to the cops and be like, they're gonna threaten me, they're threatening me for this
100%. And
money, right?
let me give you another little insight right now. That's back in the day on the street. Now they're doing it through YouTube. They're letting these content creators go on and cause problems with people, and then they're praying the people snap and do something physically, which they not gonna. But don't with all the handlers out there and all the informants. I mean, as far as that have YouTube shows, don't worry, the handlers are in on it, and they're sometimes they bait you. They'll say start trouble with this one, that one, call this one a problem. They want something physical to happen because then they can come in and round everybody up. And that's a fact. People say, no, that's not true. In 2022, believe yourself, it's true.
Look what happened to Sonny Money, right?
Right. I mean, that poor kid is a whole nother story. Let's not even get into him because that poor kid really just needed help from the beginning, you know?
He got his
Yeah, I mean, that poor kid, it's just
he
too
got
bad. Yeah.
lumped.
He was in something that he should have never been in. And look at how the poor kid ended up. So that's a shame. You can't even make fun of that kid, you know.
And
I feel bad.
that's people setting him up for that type
Right.
of
But I
thing,
feel
man.
bad. Listen to me. That poor kid needed a father figure to give him a hug and say, please, what are you doing? That's what he needed. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Instead, he's got people hyping him up, thinking
Hey,
he's a gangster. It's
what are you
crazy.
going to do? That's all in life. People have been doing this for a long time, you know.
But there's a lot of fairy tales or tall tales they would say about this place, right?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
What are
We got to
some of the
understand.
things that you've heard about this place, man?
Well, now keep in mind, I'm not going to say, I'd be honest, not now, not so much now, because a lot of things are different there. But back in the day, I mean, the place has been open since I think beginning in the 1900s. You know, I think 19 something or 1897 something. And we used to have the Italian feast right on the side of the parking lot and the grease pole. I mean growing up, we used to have Main Street full of Italian feast. The street over next to Mom and Rico's was Italian feast. I mean, the parking lots, hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of people would come down. All the old timers. They used to play bocce till 3, 4 in the morning. This is when Italy won the World Cup right here. The
Yeah.
guys, right? in the middle with his hands up. The second guy from the left is Vito. He passed away now. That was my barber. That's Vito's barbershop, the owner. That's Vito Ricciardi. And look at the people in front of this place when Italy won the World Cup. You know,
Yeah, man, they're going crazy with pride.
it was a different club then. I mean, I'm not saying nothing wrong either way, but it just was a different era. Now a lot of people that used to hang around the club, including myself, can't go down there because of federal regulations, federal probation. Other guys just got out of jail; they can't go down there. So it's just it's a different atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I have footage from inside the club, man.
And
First
I got
YouTube.
to give you credit. I don't know who you know, but you got in there. I don't know who you know, but let's keep it down. I don't know, but you got in there from what I'm
Hey,
understanding.
man. Hey, you got to know someone to know someone. So, but I'm the first one on YouTube to have
Ever,
footage ever
ever.
of
That's a fact.
inside
Ever.
the
Yep.
place where Alphonse Bruno got murdered. Let's
Right.
get into the footage, man.
Right. Go ahead.
And it shows me walking into the club and all that. Shout out to Frank, the president. I appreciate him taking the
Turned
time.
around and said, hey, buddy, and it bang, bang, bang.
So it's right here. He got killed, right? This
Yeah,
is where
Bruno
Al
got
Bruno
killed right
got
there, right
killed.
next to
This
that
is
gray
where he came out
Mercedes,
of the
right
door.
He came out of
walked
this
this
door right
way.
here.
Bam, bam.
Yeah, no, the kid came
And this
walking
is
up.
the
He came
social
from the
club.
other way, though, the guy,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope inside.
He came right out of that door, Bruno, November
Check it
23rd,
out, people.
2003.
This ain't the
Check
club
it.
it was years ago.
Wow, you're in the club.
Yeah, man, I wasn't out in the parking lot.
Good for you. Good for first time on YouTube, I can tell you that.
This is an inside look, exclusive for you guys, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button.
This is where the guys used to play cards. Now, keep in mind, that wasn't like that. It was all tables in there. A lot of guys playing cards. See if I don't know if you saw that room with the glass door right there that you just went by.
I got pictures of it with tables.
Yeah, but it was different than that. It wasn't set up like that, but still, yeah, the club was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice spot, man.
Yeah. And then you see that see that doorway with the glass right there?
Yeah.
That's there's the Madonna. The Madonna with all the gold and the chains. People used to go and pray there. If you open them doors, the Madonna is sitting there.
Yeah, that's where they carry it through the street, right?
Exactly.
When they have a carnival or a
100%.
parade. Yeah.
But picture a lot of tables in there, smoke, people laughing, cigars, eating, busting chops. There's a kitchen in the back. It was a lot different than now.
So last time Alphonse Bruno was here, that was 2009. So he played cards right in this room.
No, not 2009, Staxx. Sorry,
Or 2003. 2003, my bad.
3. Yep, November 23rd.
And
Sunday night.
was there a lot of people there when he was leaving? Were there people? Now this is I went to the place where Alphonse Bruno was laid to rest.
Yep.
And I'm gonna bring you more footage from up there another time. But I wanted to bring you exclusive footage from inside the club. Now, do you got any stories
Buddy, and it bang, bang, bang.
from
right here. He got killed, right? This is where Al
Right
Bruno
there,
got
that's where he
killed.
killed.
This
Right
is
there.
where he
Truck
came
was
out of
backed
the
in.
door.
He came out of that door Sunday night at probably
And he
about
walked
10,
this way.
Walked right to his truck.
Yeah, right there, right
there, backed in his truck, and the guy came through the gate to the left. A single male, 6 feet something. He walked up. Bruno was with another guy. I don't want to mention his name, but Bruno's with somebody else. There he is. He's a junkie, a miscreant, all of them things. That's a whole nother story. He was just used as a pawn. But yeah, he walked in the gate. He walked up to him. Bruno said hello to everybody. So I guess the kid raised his hand. It was nighttime, probably about 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night card game. And the guy raised his hand up and said, "Hey, Bruno." And of course, Bruno raised his hand to say, "Hey, buddy." He always raised his hand to everybody. "Hey, buddy." That was his thing. "Hey, buddy." And the kid came up with a 45, shot him in the face. And I think he
said
shot him
ripped
several
his finger
times.
off, right?
Yeah. What's that?
Didn't it rip his finger off?
No, nothing like that. No. I didn't rip his finger off. He shot him in the face and then a couple of times in the chest, and I think once in the groin. I'm almost sure. But I mean, the poor guy was dead on the scene. There was no question.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was coming to shoot me, I would put my hand up, man, and try to stop the bullet,
It's crazy. And there
It's
was
sad,
just
man. So what
a
was
lot of
your
people in
first
the club.
thoughts when it first happened? What were your first thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you a first time on YouTube. I won't tell you too much because I'm doing I'm doing the book, and I want to kind of the book, is coming out soon. But I was living in Ludlow with my wife at the time, and it was like 10:30, maybe quarter of 11. I get a call and a girl screaming. She's like, "JK!" She's screaming. I go, "What the hell? What's wrong? It's quarter of 11, whatever time." And she goes, "They killed Bruno. They killed Bruno." I said, "Shut the," I said, "I swear, shut that. What are you nuts? They killed him." So I said, "Where? What's going on?" They said, "Down the club, down the club." So I shoot down the club 100 miles an hour from Ludlow, which is like 15 minutes away. I get there probably quarter of 11, 10 of 11. And they would just take the ambulance, was just leaving. And unfortunately, his son Victor was sitting on the curb crying with his aunt holding him. It was just a horrific scene. Of course, FBI was there, every law enforcement you can think of. So I kind of just checked around and I got out of there. I wasn't staying, it's just too much heat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the guys from inside the club were outside in the parking lot, but they had it all roped off. I mean, you had a picture of that. I think it's right there with the yellow tape. It was crazy. It was a crazy couple weeks with the wake and the funeral and the sun, and it just was crazy. It was
Yeah,
absolutely
because
crazy.
everything's going on, and the people who are involved are like right in the group of people, and you don't even know what's going on. And
100%.
there's other people who think that you knew, and there's other people who think you didn't know.
Well, like I said, I don't want to give too much, and I wish I could, but I got some great stuff coming out in the book about personal stories that I was actually, and thank God, I mean, I had no idea at the time. You know what I mean? Not putting myself in a conspiracy, you know what I mean? But I really didn't know. But there was a
Yeah.
couple rumors going around. Nobody knew 100%. A couple people did, but I surely didn't. But yeah, I was at some of them times with people and Victor when things were talked about and things were said, and it was like, you know, I mean, it was just crazy. And then it just was a crazy time, absolutely
Did you
crazy.
think it was some other people? Did you think it was like another people fighting for power,
People
like another
people
family?
suspected, but they didn't really say much. They didn't want to get in trouble. They just kept their mouth shut. But they'd give the old wink and say, where it came from, and we'd be like, "No, you think so?" And they give a wink back, and it was kind of that kind of thing. But nobody said it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy time between the news, it just was crazy. Every news organization was there. When they had the wake, the line was down the street. You couldn't even get near the joint. And it is what it is. It was just a
They tried to kill him other times, though, right?
no. There was one other time, but it had nothing to do with organized crime. It had to do with I don't want to really say too much, but it had to do with another guy who got disrespected by Bruno. And the guy was a Spitfire. He didn't take shit from nobody. It wasn't an organized crime thing. And allegedly in the club one night, he took out a gun and started firing it at Bruno right in front of everybody. And nothing ever went nowhere with it. The guy, it is what it is. The guy just was a loose cannon, but he had balls. And
Do that. Like, you got to be crazy to do some
I
shit
mean,
like
I'll
that.
be honest with you, that's something in New York. You disappear for the first week, you'll be gone. So,
Can you imagine if someone did that in John Gotti's club, man?
come on. Well, they wouldn't even get out of the club. They
No, no.
wouldn't have got out of the Bergen.
Insane, man.
Yeah,
And
it was a crazy time, you know?
so he went to prison a bunch of different times. I've been reading about him,
Yeah.
and it says Frankie Roach. It says one of the people who testified against him was none other than, hold up, let me get the drum roll. Philip Leonetti
Yes, he did.
testified against Alphonse Bruno.
Right. Well, Leonetti came to Springfield, Mass, to testify against him, not for one of his cases. Leonetti came down and testified against Bruno at his trial in Springfield, and Bruno and another guy who's still around. Who I'm not going to mention his name, but they were friends with Nicky Scarfo and Leonetti. They used to go. Matter of fact, there's pictures out there in the newspaper of Bruno and another guy on. That's another guy. But Bruno and another guy on a boat in Fort Lauderdale with Nicky Scarfo and Leonetti and about 20, 30 of them guys. They always hung around with a young crew that would just get on the boat and they just like pretty much terrorize Florida. You know what I mean? But there's a picture that came out in the Springfield paper of Bruno and this other guy with Scarfo and Leonetti on the boat in Florida. Yep.
And you said that Bruno wasn't into drugs, right?
No, definitely totally against drugs. I know you told me about that thing you saw or something with his name on it. Bruno
So
was
it's crazy. It's crazy. After he
right,
died,
right.
somebody out there in
Yep,
Springfield,
yep,
they made a stamp for the heroin bags and
yep.
they put
Al
Al
Bruno.
Bruno's
It was yeah, there you go.
picture and his they put his name and his picture on the bags.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can you imagine that, man?
The poor guy, he's turning in his grave if he ever knew about that.
Insane. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy.
for people to do something like that, it's just craziness,
Yeah,
man.
but a lot of listen, he was well known throughout the African American community, the North End. Everybody knew Bruno. So I mean, I know guys still to this day, old African American guys that have the African American social clubs in Winchester Square, which is a pretty tough area, Springfield. And I mean, I go in there. I mean, I can't, but at one time I went in there and used to have to drink with them guys. There'd be like 100 African American guys, and I'm the only white guy, and we laughing because I know the older guys from back in the day. There was a guy Pope back in the day. He was like the head of all stuff in that community, but he passed away. But a friend of his took over, and they love Bruno. Say what you want, they love Bruno. The North End loved Bruno. Bruno was a loved guy. I mean, people could say anything they want, but I'm telling you, he was a loved guy. He was. There's no question about it.
They do favors for people, right? They will come to him with a problem, like there's somebody stealing stuff out of my yard or something.
Well, that's in all walks of life. It don't have to be gangster world. I mean, you're my friend. Somebody's bothering your daughter. I'm going to say maybe I know somebody. They can go talk to somebody. That's I know what you're getting at. But yeah, absolutely.
So Ogios says, "What up, Chicky? How's your house lockdown going?"
Thank you. Going good. Trying to stay out of trouble. Being positive. Not going on the internet. Torturing people that are out there trying to get me in trouble. Call my probation officer. It's crazy what's going on YouTube. I just want to stay away from it. I mean, these content creators are abusing mothers, grandmothers, abusing people's kids. It's just, I never thought it would come to this, but I'm all set with it. You know what I mean? I only go on a couple of shows that I enjoy the people. But other than that, I can't get caught up in this negative shit. I just can't. I'm trying to be positive. Like I said, I got the movie coming out, which we can get in after in December. I got a lot of positive things going. I'm not going to blow it over this stupid stuff.
You do. You got a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, I do. I'm blessed. My kids are healthy.
Don't waste your opportunities on people who aren't worth it, man.
You listen. It is what it is. People are going to go on and abuse. It is Staxx. There you go.
Go
Staxx,
get you a Chat with Staxx cup too. Go get you a Chat with Staxx cup. The link is in the description of this video.
You got good material, Staxx. You're doing good things. Don't let people bring you down. That's why I come on your show. I feel comfortable with you. I told you anytime you want to come down to Springfield, I got you. I just think your show's going to grow leaps and bounds, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You got it, brother.
Yeah, let's play this footage one more time.
And this is the
start over. This is the first time this has ever been released on wherever.
On YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
You must have knew somebody to get in that club, Staxx. I don't know who you knew, but you knew somebody.
Shout out to Frank, man.
Somebody said, hey, Al. Turned around and said, hey, buddy, and it bang, bang, bang.
So it's right here.
That's Frank
killed,
talking
right?
in the back.
This is where Al Bruno got killed. This is where it came
right,
out of that door.
Yep.
It shows, like, watch when I walk over, you can see, like, an oil spot on the ground.
Yeah, but that was a lot of years ago.
That's where it's, like, still soaking through, maybe.
No. He was laid out more where the gray parking lot is, like where the Mercedes is, over closer to there than he was on the sidewalk.
Was he was in the gravel part?
Yeah, the gravel part. His truck was backed in, like probably if that Mercedes wasn't there, his truck was backed in there. It was a new black Suburban.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back in Connecticut, man. Shout out to Damien, too.
Hey, Damien.
He's not in here. Someone just
this is the social club.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope inside.
What did Gianni say?
He says, Chicky, the News 22 has a clip of you and Damien in the social club, bro.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of clips out there, especially on YouTube. I mean, that's when we used to hang around there, but since all this bullshit with indictments and everything, we can't go down there.
I'm sure that
Staxx is right in the joint.
Look at that. I just walked right into place like I owned it.
I'm surprised he didn't show you out
Nah, man.
because you
I
must
mean,
know
Get out,
people in
people.
Springfield.
yeah, I must know someone.
This ain't the club it was years ago.
I bet you wouldn't see Piggy going in here, place like this.
Ain't nobody on YouTube going there.
Nah, man. But yeah, it was great experience going up to Springfield. Everyone was great, man.
I'm
A lot
glad you
of
had a
good
good
people
time,
up
pal.
there.
I wish I could have spent more time with you, but obviously due to the conditions,
Next time, man. Next time we come up there,
we'll go eat or
when are you
something.
getting off that shit? We'll go to
I got
MGM,
till
man. Gets,
after the holidays. After the holidays.
at least you'll be able to be home with your grandkids and
Well,
spend
I'll be honest with
Christmas.
you, the guy's a pretty good guy. I mean, I don't get in trouble. I'm good. So he lets me do things. He'll let me go a couple times a week. As long as I put what dress I'm going to, he'll let me go visit the grandkids.
They really
He's
called.
good.
They really. What did he say when they called him?
Listen to this. I'm not going to get into it now because I didn't want to give. I'm not going in a negative direction, but there's a couple content creators out there that get. How can I put it? They get their balls by other people to go out there and badmouth good people and talk shit about people. And so a couple of times, I'm not going to lie, I got caught up in a couple of people's chat. Somebody called me like, you got to hear what they're saying. I heard it, and stupid me. I bit my tongue, and I finally went on and said, listen, blah, blah, blah. I said a few stupid things. And then I said, I caught myself. And matter of fact, I think you had told me, don't get involved with this. Are you crazy? Whatever. You got to help me.
For what?
And make a long story short, the next day, it's clear as day. I get the call from the probation. We want to show yesterday, bad mountain, blah, 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 blah. I can't say no. He probably seen it. Somebody told him. How would he know? And I said, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I've been home. So what do you want me to do? And then he called twice more times after that. And I said, no, I wasn't. You can show it to me. And he said, I know what's going on here. Don't worry about it. And then they've come out a couple times. They called him and said, Chicky's on drugs, not the drugs. So they come out and do urine tests. And I said, no problem. They said, you want to do one? Absolutely. I do it. Comes up clean. He goes, I know what's going on here. I go, thank you. He's a gentleman of a guy.
Of course, man.
A young guy in his late 20s, but he gets it. He's like, I understand what's going on. No problem. I said, thank you. And that was the end of that. That was probably 2-3 weeks ago. But this is what you're dealing with, that mentality. It's disgusting. But what are you going to do?
I saw your attorney too, man.
Dan Hagen's a great guy.
Shout out to Dan Hagen.
Dan Hagen's the best. Dan Kelly, Dan Hagen. Dan Kelly's representing Freddie Gia's in the alleged murder of Whitey Bulger. It's coming up. And another good kid out of Boston, Paulie DiColangelo. You can go on Facebook and Instagram. His family's having a fundraiser to help him. Venmo, I guess, and it's called the thing is called to help the Paulie DiColangelo family. And anybody that goes on Facebook and sees that, please donate something. If you can donate $1, it's honorable. Just helping the kid out, try to get a good defense for this corrupt case against them concerning Whitey Bulger.
Yeah. So it's for that case. It's probably going to need a lot of money for the defense.
Well, Freddie's already doing life, so I don't know if the death penalty's on table or not for that case. And Paulie DiColangelo only had another 2-3 years, and he was out. He just did 20 years.
Yeah, he's the one from New Hampshire, right?
No, outside Boston. I'll think of the town. It's right outside Boston. Very well-known kid. I was with his brother Johnny and Wyatt. Good kid. The family's a nice people, from what I understand. So, yeah, his brother reached out to me, Derek, and said, Chicky, can you put it up on social media, help us out? I said, absolutely. So I've been doing that the last couple of weeks. You've been seeing on my Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, if I can, I'll put the link for the.
I'd appreciate that. You've got a few people, Angel's helping me, a couple other people, so I appreciate that.
So, you're working on the book, right? So when do you think that'll be done?
Well, it would have been done for the Christmas. We were going to do it for the holidays, but some things came up in the book that I had to change. And I had somebody help me with the cover of the book that I'm no longer really affiliated with. So I don't want to use his cover. And then he comes back after me and says, like, well, now you're making money. I want money for the cover. So we redid the cover. So I'm going to say probably early next year, maybe February, March. And I got a lot of good people helping me that wrote books themselves, big books that did very well. So I want to say his name on right now, but I want to say a shout out to a dear friend of mine who's keeping me, talks to me and he's like, Chicky, get your head straight. Don't listen to these people. And he's given me a lot of great opportunities and my friends. So, but that another time I'll bring him up. But I just want to, say a shout out to him.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Shout out to
Anytime, Staxx.
everybody out there. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Angel. Shout
All
out to
good people out
everybody.
there, yes. And stop just looking. If I can say one, I had two things more to say, if it's okay.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to say, check out. They said December. It's supposed to be coming out. The movie Pep about Willie Pep, the boxer in Hartford, Connecticut. Its production company is Appian Way, Leonardo DiCaprio's production company. So they're doing all the technical stuff. James Mattio's the star. Played in Band of Brothers. He played in Hook with Robin Williams. He played in Basketball Diaries. The kid is a great actor. He's from the Bronx. He plays Willie Pep. And myself and Brian Hoyle have a part in it, talking part, not just like a part you're sitting in and it goes by you. We got an actual talking part in the movie, which is incredible. And then my friend Damien's got Woodsack Mafia, and Brian Hoyle got Woodsack Mafia, John A. Gotti Jr.'s project coming out sometime next year. And I know people are like, well, I've been hearing about it for years. How come it ain't coming out? That's how it works with that stuff. It takes time.
Just like Mob King. Mob King took a long time. They had the series, but now the time is coming and it's
100%.
coming, man. And people
And I got to say that I got to give that guy credit. That Ciro, I got to give him credit. He made it happen. It was a dream of his, and he hustled, and he got a great cast together. And you got to give the guy credit. He made it happen. And in that genre, to make it happen on that level, you got to know what you're doing. People don't just do that. You don't see people just making movies. It's a big process, and to get it done, that's huge.
And he's done multiple, man.
Yeah.
And I got to watch a review. I got to watch the Mob King, and the review, insane, man. The movie's insane. You gotta go see it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I really do think. I think it's gonna be huge. People like that prison mafia, all these things, like The Sopranos, but maybe they like that kind of thing.
But it's different. It's not like the normal mob movie. Like, hey, I need my money, and it's got a baseball bat. Yeah. It's not like that, man. It's like it's like an intricate story, and it's really good shit, man.
Yeah, and it shows shows from the streets to when you get sentenced and you're in prison now, and what goes on in prison. I think it's going to be huge. I really believe it.
Yeah, man. I wish him nothing but the best, man. King is going to be great. He's having a premiere at a place in California. It's like a place where they pick up movies, right?
Yeah, where they actually show like Sundance or something.
Yeah,
and
like
they also
film festival.
Yeah. We're having the same thing for Pep. One's in New York City and one's in Hartford. Now, obviously, New York City, I can't go to New York.
You're going to be able to go to the one in Hartford?
I'm laying the groundwork with the guy now about, hey, listen, this was work. It's a positive. The guy's wicked hyped up on positive things. He's like, listen, if it's positive, I'm good. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll let me, maybe he won't. But they're going to do one in Hartford and New York. Like I said, I won't be able to New York. But Hartford, I'll be there. Hopefully, like I said, if
let me know, man. I'll meet you out there, bro.
Yeah. And then I missed out last year. They filmed Woodsack Mafia in Miami. And Brian and Damien went down there, had a great time. They stayed at the Trump Tower, I guess Trump something. And they filmed it, and they filmed a great part. Damien did great. Brian Hoyle did great. And something that obviously I was under the indictment, so I couldn't go. So I missed out. The last few years, I missed out on some good stuff, but the future is very promising. And I got good people around me, and I want to be around no negative people. If you're negative, I want nothing to do with you. And I'm not going to get caught up in this bullshit on YouTube, fighting with people, this, that, you're this, you're that. I'm not doing it. I got too much on my mind, good things, to have, to go down that road. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, man. If you look at all the positive things that you've done,
right?
If you were to have, say you never had this case, right? And you were only doing positive things and focusing on, you'd be so much farther along.
But you know what? I agree with you on one point, but almost I think getting this case made me smarter. It's like sometimes bad things have to happen to you. It could have been a lot worse. So bad things sometimes have to happen to you to smarten you up in your head and say, you know what? Because I went through a tough time. We lost our house, we lost our cars. The Christmas of 2019, I had nothing. They took our money, they took our cars, they impounded our cars, froze our bank accounts, took our house. They put me on the street with honestly, not, I don't want to say woe is me, nothing like that, but it almost stripped you from everything to start fresh. And I think sometimes, as hard as that is, it makes you a better man. I believe that. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. It's when you come into a problem and you be able to overcome that situation without
Exactly.
crumbling.
That I believe. So now I believe it. After 3 years later, or whatever it is, I believe it now. So I just thank God we're past that. I get through this little bullshit thing, house arrest, and what saved me was COVID, because the prosecutor, me and I told my lawyer in court, Dan Hagen, I'm like, give me a year and a half, I'll go lose weight. You know, that's the thing now. I'm home, but they let me go to the gym and swim, and so I'm doing what I can do. But that's what killed me. I told him I was in court and I'm arguing with my lawyer. I said, just give me a year and a half, because it was only ammunition. It was what happened was, and let me explain this because there's a lot of bullshit out on the internet. They found a gun and ammunition in my house. Okay, the gun was a Smith and Wesson, and Smith and Wesson is where? Springfield, Massachusetts. Okay, so federal law says if they cannot trace the gun left state lines, they only could charge with ammunition, which is only a 12 to 14
How
month.
is that? That's weird.
It's weird, but listen, you can go to any lawyer, ask anybody federal law. If they find a gun and it's from they can't prove it left state lines. Like say the thing was like a Beretta or some Glock, something that different would have happened. Because it was a Smith and Wesson, it wasn't stolen. It was a legitimate gun, but I just shouldn't have had it. But they can only charge with ammunition. You call any lawyer and ask them that. Any lawyer will tell you that. So they charge with ammunition, and it's only like a 12 to 14 month sentence. So I had 3 months in. I stayed 3 months in Wyatt, before I got bailed out. So we asked for a year, and then because of COVID and because of I'm retired from the military, I got a sickness. So between everything, my lawyer did a great case, and he's like, says to me, and I'll have my lawyer come on. He's funny, and I'm arguing him in court. He's like, I'm going to go for a year house arrest. I go, no, I don't want it, because I'm thinking house arrest. I got to sit there 24/7. I can't leave. I'm going to blow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said, no, I'll go. Just put me in. I'll leave today. I want to, and he was a great lawyer. He goes, listen, anytime we walk out of federal court and you ain't got to go to jail, it's a win. And he's right. And I'm looking back now with my grandkids. He's an incredible lawyer, and he's a friend and a lawyer, and he's done tremendous things for me. So I really, if anybody's around Western Mass, New England, you need good lawyers. Attorney Dan Hagen and Dan Kelly, they're top of the line. They've been in business 20-something years, Dan Kelly. So I just want to put that out.
Ogio wants to know, how long will you be on paper?
I think a year or two. I'm not sure. My lawyer, I got to figure it out. I don't know. They ran 1 year concurrent with this house arrest, so I just don't know. I got to find out how much it'll be after that. But you got a lot less restrictions when you're out there. You know what I mean? You might, different things they make you do, but it's not like home confinement. I got the ankle on my bracelet. My friend calls it a low jack.
Yeah. Yo, when I got out of prison a long time ago, right? They had put one on my wrist, and it would talk.
Oh, really?
It would talk, and it sounded like it would make these noises, and it would.
Well,
talk.
I'll tell you one thing. They got a computer thing hooked up in my living room. They came and put it, and they know what's going on, because one time I left an hour early. I made a mistake. I had a doctor appointment at 3. I left at 2, something like that. It was like I was gone 10 minutes, and they blew the federal probation. You're not supposed to be out. I go, oh my God, I don't know what it was, something. But I said, listen. He goes, listen. No farm, no how, right? He goes, I know you've been good. You've never messed up. He goes, it's an accident. He goes, just be home an hour earlier. Like if I said I was coming home at 5, he said, come home at 4. I said, okay, thank you. So they know if he goes, listen, we're in Worcester. He's all over the joint, Lowell, chasing these gang members down that don't even come home. They're coming home. It's supposed to be at 6. They don't come home till midnight. He goes, we know who we're chasing down,
There's a lot of people in Mass.
I'm
parole, man.
No, I'm not. Believe me, I'm very. I got 2 beautiful grandchildren. I'm good. I just want to get this bullshit over and go on to positive stuff.
Gianni says, thanks God for Smith and Wesson, right?
Yeah, Springfield, Massachusetts. That's the factory. They're going to Tennessee soon, but Springfield, Mass, right now.
I want Chicky to get his own show. When you gonna get your own show, Chicky?
Yeah, well, me and Brian Hoyle are doing one. Damien's gonna help us. We're gonna do it. I can't do it now because federal probation's one reason. I mean, I come on a show here and there, but to commit and be there and do a live and then do a recorded show, you got to have time, and I can't be doing it when I only got 2 hours here, an hour there, 1 hour there. You can't do it. So with your help, with a lot of stuff you gave us and some backdrops and stuff, it'll be coming soon. And it's not going to be one of these shows where we go on and fight with people and your mother and my sister and abusing poor people that are grandmothers. It ain't going to be one of them shows, but I think
Yeah.
it'll be a great show.
Yeah, I think people will definitely tune
Yeah,
in, man. Especially
yeah,
if you have
I
people
hope
like
so.
Damien on. You guys are
Yeah,
joking
yeah,
around.
yeah. And we got a lot of good friends in New York that are in movies, and they'll come on, and there'll be a lot of people coming on to help us that pretty much up to this point haven't been on YouTube. So I think it'll be huge once we do it right.
Yo, people don't know you're the original, one of the original YouTube mob podcasters, man.
Hey, listen, and I'm going to tell you, and people are going to get mad. I'm going to tell you, we were doing it, not sit down like a mob podcast, but we were interviewing things about the mob. Yes, indeed, before Johnny and Gene. We were doing it in 2018, 18, 19, early
Chuck
2019.
Zito, you
Chuck
interviewed Chuck
Zito, I did an interview.
Zito.
It's on YouTube. Great interview. I interviewed Pat. Me and Damien went to Brooklyn, Bath Avenue. We interviewed on the corner in Bath Avenue, Patrick Borriello, Bobby Borriello's son. Uh, we had some technical problems. We should have kept going, but YouTube, I mean, that genre wasn't really big at the time. Shame on us because we would right now, we would have probably over 100,000 subscribers if we would have kept going the way we were going. Because we weren't just sitting around a table interviewing. We were going to locations, New York, Providence. Like Chuck Zito, I interviewed him in Providence at a karate
And there
show.
was graphics. He
Yeah.
had people. Yeah, it was
So,
a good, man. It was good
and I got
stuff.
along with Chuck great. We brought him a pair of Gazelle sunglasses. He loved that.
Yeah.
Damien was in Florida doing something at the time. He couldn't go there, but me and another guy, Evil Ed, who does MMA broadcast for YouTube, he was with me. He did the cameras and everything. And I sat there and did an interview an hour with him by myself. And it was just two guys shooting the shit. And I tell you the truth, if go on YouTube, pull up Chicky and Chuck Zito, and you guys, I think, will be happy. I thought it was a great interview. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was good, man. I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah. Chuck Zito, still, we go back and forth on message on Instagram. He's a gentleman. And like I said, it was a pleasure meeting him through 2000. I believe we did that 2019, like end of the summer, September 2019. So we were doing it long before all these podcasts. So when these people say we were the first ones, I just laugh and say, oh, yeah, go on YouTube and check the date. But hey, God bless everybody out there trying to make money with YouTube. It's a hard thing. And what's sad about YouTube, Staxx, is that a lot of times when you do these shows unknowingly, because of what you do, you're putting your family out there. Because like I know, you got vicious animals out there and they want to abuse people's family.
Anyone out there got a problem with me, come after me.
Yeah.
I have no problem.
No.
Like, leave everybody else I know
Yeah.
alone. Come
But
after
you know
me.
what? On the flip side of that, if somebody abuses somebody in your family, you're going to abuse somebody in their family. It's going to work that way. I mean, that's the way it works. But it's like I said,
I'd rather not open the door, man, and close the door on all of them. And they're not going to get my time, attention, none of that
you
shit.
did it, Staxx. You did it right.
bro.
Staxx, you're coming out with great material. Your subs are going to grow. Look at this material right now. There's nobody on YouTube, nobody in any genre that's ever been in that club. So, figure it out. You know what I mean?
And I got plenty more spots that I've been to that I haven't put up yet. I was at the spot where Frank Nitti killed himself at the railroad tracks. I've been to his house. I went to the church where Al Capone got into a shootout with the cops, man. I've been to a lot of places. And I'm just gonna keep pumping them out. Savage people, nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's just hey, have fun on YouTube. All the same people go to the same shows. And, have fun with it. There's no need to bash people and talk crazy. It's just so stupid. Everybody should just have fun with it, like it's supposed to be.
No drama. Yes, to Staxx. Yeah, man.
And I'm starting a new movement, Staxx. I'm starting a new movement. I'm gonna get shirts made like everybody else is making shirts.
Yeah.
It's called Stop Calling Probation. That's the new movement.
I seriously don't get why anyone would have a problem with Chicky aside from having a few miserable.
It's all right. What are you gonna do?
A few miserable Milwaukee's down. Mama Luke. Oh, he said Mama Luke.
Yeah.
Guys stand up funny as
you
hell.
got a good chat. You got a good chat in here. I watch even times I'm not on. You got a good chat.
Yeah, man. They don't come in here and start trouble or nothing.
No, shout out to the chat. Shout out to Staxx's chat, Angel's chat. They're all good people. There are a lot of good people in there. Nobody's looking to hurt nobody or talk about people's kids. So that being said,
It's crazy, man. Here, let's
so
play this one more time, man, and then we'll get out of here.
yeah,
I can't wait until you're off house arrest and you're able to go places, man. Me and you will get up.
yeah. Like I said, when you can come, when I'm out of this bullshit, we can really do some good stuff.
Yo, Jay, Debo, thank you so much for that $4.99, man. I really appreciate that. You have no idea.
Thank
It
you,
helps
Jay.
the channel a
Thank
lot.
you, Jay.
And if you guys didn't know, all the money that I get for donations, I'm gonna donate to there's a homeless shelter, and I'm gonna buy toys for the kids this year, just like I did last year. I'm gonna buy a bunch of toys and I'm gonna give them to the homeless shelter. So any money that gets donated to my channel, I'm gonna go buy toys and give them to the homeless shelter, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, last year, man, you should have seen it. They were so happy and appreciative
That's
that I
honorable.
did that, bro.
That's honorable. More people should do that, Staxx. You know what I mean? Instead of running around, they should do.
Bang, bang, bang.
So it's right here he got killed, right?
Yep, right there.
This is where
Yep.
Al Bruno got killed. This is where he came out of the door.
Yep.
And he walked this way.
And see that
Bam,
door?
bam.
You see that green door, Staxx, right there?
Yeah,
That you just
And this
missed
is
right
the
there.
social
To
club.
the left, not that one. The one to the
Yeah,
left.
yeah, the first one to the left, not the
That
main
goes down
one.
to the cellar of the club. Down to the cellar of the Mark Carmel club.
Yeah,
And allegedly, and I used I used that word allegedly. A lot of people got beat up down there. Allegedly.
I'm sure there there's people that haven't
I don't know.
walked out of it.
I don't know about that. I'm on federal probation. Allegedly.
I don't know, man. What did he get shot with? 45. Yeah, 45,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely
was
will
dead.
keep up the good
He
work,
was
man.
dead.
You already know.
The first shot hit him in the chin. He was gone. That's
Killed
one
him,
thing.
probably.
He was fast. Gone. He was
The
gone.
feds whole building bugged, or did at
Too
least.
bad.
They probably do. They probably
Tell
do
you,
have
let me
the whole
say,
building
I'll
bugged.
just be honest with you. Rest in peace, Adolfo Bruno, because when he was on the street, it was a lot different and there was a lot more respect. People could say what they want. Oh, some people don't like him. Some people said bullshit about 302s. The guy was no informant. That's bullshit. You listen to an FBI agent. His name was Keith. I believe it's Keith Hedges. Okay, they can write anything they want. You run into him at a party and just say, "Hey, what's up?" Bruno was a politician guy. In other words, he could eat dinner with gangsters or he could eat dinner with district attorneys. That's how he was. And in New York, all the big shots are friendly with all the politicians and this, and they know how to move amongst people. So Bruno was a guy who he played racquetball for 20 years with Matty Ryan, the DA of Springfield. And that was a big thing in the newspaper. Newspapers hated that. They played racquetball with the district attorney. So
yeah, he was sent to prison for years and years.
Well, this is public
Gets
knowledge.
out.
It ain't like I'm giving secrets. Everybody knows in Springfield. I mean,
Yeah.
That's the way it was. He could move around in any crowd. So Bruno was the type of guy. If he was at a party seeing an FBI agent and the guy went up to him and said, "Bruno, what's going on?" Bruno would say, "Hey, this is the kind of guy he was." He would say, "What are you bothering us for a couple of stupid bets? Go get the drug dealers and go get this one and a rapist." He would say that. Now, I guess they say, technically FBI is supposed to write everything down you say to them on a 302. So if a 302 says, "Yeah, Bruno was telling me who was made, who wasn't," come on. You're going to listen to it. An FBI guy can write anything he wants on that. It's been in history. Look at the guy in New York, Lynn Del Vecchio. Okay. He was, a lot of people's handlers. He was Greg Scarpa, the Grim Reaper's handler. He let him kill people. This guy, Lindo Vecchi, should be in prison for life right now. He used to give addresses to Scarpa and his guys. "Oh, you guy you're looking for lives on this U Street in Brooklyn at this address." He would give him where his targets were to kill. And this guy's walking around the street writing books. He should be in hell with the devil doing life.
It's crazy, man. And
But
he was working for law enforcement.
Right. And did you ever think this? And I'll probably get in trouble with it. I'll probably be violated tomorrow. I'll be going back to jail. But did you ever think the FBI tickles the wire with different things because they want to start wars in the city? Do you ever think that?
Of course.
Come on. You can't be that stupid not to think that they don't know what's going on.
they go to other people and start trouble. Come on, man.
Come
They
on, they've
got
been doing it for
bosses. They had
years.
bosses telling.
Wait a minute.
So
Whitey Bulger in New York. I mean, in Boston. Whitey Bulger, the Winter Hill Gang. They had the guy Connolly. Connolly, and I'll say it on YouTube, was more stand up than them. He went and did 20-something years, didn't say open. You know how many he could have opened up about? Who was involved? Cops, district attorneys. He went to jail 20-something years. Connolly. And he got out now.
Crazy.
But he went to jail with his mouth shut. Right?
It's insane, man.
Crazy. It's crazy. So don't tell me.
It's still going on. It's still going on.
But I'll just make it a point.
They're still
Don't tell the
paying
FBI guys
informants.
write down every exact thing the right way. That's all I'm saying. If you think they do, you're fooling yourself. But that's neither here or there. And I better shut up. I'll be back in Wyatt by tomorrow.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
Anytime,
I really
brother.
do.
Anytime. Thank you. Thank you to the chat. Guys, stay positive. The movie's coming out in December. Big things next year with a lot of other movies coming out that we're going to have a piece of. So thank you for having me. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Definitely, man.
All right,
Thank you.
Staxx.
And make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time, man. Thanks again, Chicky.